Alright, so the next job is a lawnmower blade, another mixed bag. I got a lot of mixed stuff today, and just 2 knives, a small paring knife and a Cutco knife, utility knife there. So we got to go do 1 lawnmower blade. So we're going to unpack this lawnmower blade here. See how bad this looks. Ooh, it's filthy. Covered with grass, but the blade part's actually pretty clean. So yeah, so that looks pretty good. This actually, wow. I mean, this just needs a tiny bit of cleanup. You could tell they don't have a very bad lawn with rocks and stuff. There's no chips in here. It's starting to get a tiny bit arched, but in all honesty, this blade looks very good. Very, very good. It just needs a tiny bit of touch up and cleaning. And the worst part about it is just the dried grass and rust that's on here. That's the worst part of this whole blade and cleaning process wise, is just that. It's just messy. But to get a well balanced blade, you kind of want to get that stuff off, especially if it's really heavy. This one's kind of evenly across here used with dirt and crud. But yeah, that's it. I mean, yeah, it's starting to round here, and that's the indicator. So if you don't know this, the part of your blade that does all the cutting is about the last inch here. This is what's cutting your grass, and you can see this is starting to get rounded. So it is a good time to get this sharpened. And when you start to see that blade rounding, it takes about 15 hours of cutting for that. So if you cut your lawn once a week, depending on how long it takes you to cut it, you can kind of figure it out. It's usually more frequently than people realize. For most people, it's probably, if it takes you about an hour to cut your lawn, it's probably every 3 months you should, minimum be getting your blade sharpened. And a lot of people don't do it sometimes for years, and that's why sharpening the blade can really suck and take a long time to take chips out. The more frequently you sharpen your blade, the better off you will be. So I'm going to start by cleaning this up a little bit. I have to go out to my shed, put my new microclimate helmet on because I grind my mower blades in my shed. I don't like to do them in here because I try and keep this area as clean as possible. That's where I do it. And that's why that little helmet comes in really handy, because I have no filtration system or anything in there to protect myself. So one of the greatest things for cleaning mower blades I have found are these purple Scotch-Brites for angle grinders. Now, I used to sharpen my mower blades on an All-American sharpener, but then I got the Bradley sharpener, which I really like, so I don't really do them on the All-American anymore. But since I moved to the new house, the other thing that I left at my old house and didn't bring here, I wished I had, but I didn't, was I had a Black & Decker table that was like a vise table, and I used to use that to clamp these things into so that I could clean lawnmower blades, and it really worked great. But here at the new house, I don't have that because I accidentally left it at my old house. I need to probably just put a vise in my shed so that I can grind and clean mower blades. But this is the greatest thing. I don't use wire wheels. I used to use wire. I hate them. Wires throw wires all over the place and they stick in you. And I've even seen people get injured with wire wheels. I don't like them. These are awesome. They're very aggressive. They're great for stripping off paint and gunk and will just tear this old grass off, no problem. But a lot safer to use, in my opinion, are these Scotch-Brite purple wheels for grinders than using any type of wire wheel. All right, so you guys are getting to see an area that's still under, come on, Fredo. An area that's still under works in my shop, which is my shed area which is where I do lawnmower blades. Also the reason I love the microclimate air helmet, because as you can see, this is a very little confined space. But I do my mower blades out here because they're messy, and I don't like the mess getting in the main shop where I'm doing knife sharpening. So we're going to do it in here. One thing I need to fix, my light's out in here. Fortunately, my mower blade sharpener has a light on it, so I got some light in here. We're going to clean this mower blade up. We're going to check and make sure it's balanced. There's my balancer back here. If you don't have a balancer, the only one worth buying is the Magnum-Matic, okay? Don't waste your money on anything else, and certainly don't use the nail through a piece of wood. It is completely useless. You are actually not balancing the blade. If you use something like that, you're going to knock it out of balance. All right, I'm going to put my helmet on, and we will get started cleaning this and then sharpening it. Alrighty, you guys are inside my microclimate air helmet with me. I got my meta glasses going here. I'm cinching up my hood so that the dust doesn't come in, and we're going to get started here. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to clean this blade up some. Now, I don't like to sharpen blades that have a ton of junk on them because they just don't balance. And my balancer is so precision, the tiniest bit of junk on it will knock it off. But you can see how quick a Scotch-Brite on a grinder will take off that extra junk. Just be careful. Know the way your grinder's going. Don't catch an edge and and hurt yourself. I'm very lightly touching this. I just want to get that grass off. Some people will repaint these. I don't bother, but that is something you can do. I just take the grass and rust off and then lubricate them. But I don't bother repainting them. The paint just comes off anyway. It really doesn't do a whole heck of a lot, in my opinion. Alright, once I have all the clumps of grass and rust off, then I go to my sharpening. And like I said, this blade is not in bad shape, so it's not going to need much. If you try and keep your strokes to the same amount per side if you can, it will make balancing your blade much easier. That was about 4 strokes. And that looks good to me. Here's my blade balancer. And that's really good. Really good. That doesn't need to be touched anymore. That blade is balanced. And this thing is super duper sensitive. but we're good. Back to normal work. But I really love keeping that messy stuff outside and not in the regular main shop. Last thing I do is just spray this blade up with some gear hugger. And actually I usually just kind of brush it on. Just like so. And then I let that dry on there, which will help keep it from rusting. Gear hugger's pretty cool stuff. It's not only just a de-ruster, but if you allow it to dry, it actually protects things from rusting. Wiping my microclimate Air 3 shield clean, and there's the really fine rust and junk that was blowing around in there. Alright, so now my helmet's ready for the next mower blade that comes in.